Listen, so many times, right? We are looking for signs, right? We think that God is going to send something down like the parting of the Red Sea, or it's just going to be something that's huge, right, to give you a sign, right? But so many times we get signs every day about what we're supposed to be doing with our lives. Case in point, you could be working at a job for 5, 10 years, whatever the case may be, right? But every time you walk into that workplace, you start feeling uncomfortable. You start feeling like, what I'm saying, like why am I supposed to be here? Now, you know it's a blessing to have a job. You probably prayed for that job. But now when you coming into work, you feeling just uncomfortable. It's just like an air that's surrounding you every time you walk into that place, right? Now, every day you sitting up here, asking God for this huge sign. But so many times, those little signs, it's just you being uncomfortable. See, I'm a firm believer that when it's time for you to grow, when it's time for you to transition, right, it first has to start with you being uncomfortable. Now, a lot of times are in situations, right, and they get comfortable and they don't, you know what I'm saying, they don't want no growth. The people that they're around, they're comfortable with. But all of us have had a time in our life to where we just felt uncomfortable. We can have friendships for 20 years, right? And all of a sudden, it's just one day you don't feel comfortable around that person no more. You don't feel comfortable around these friends no more, right? That's just God tapping you on the shoulder, trying to get your attention to letting you know it might be time to move on. And by moving on, it doesn't mean that we got to have beef. It doesn't mean that this, that, and the other, right? But it is time to elevate. And I think that a lot of people stay stagnant because they're looking up to the heavens for something miraculous to happen. They're looking for somebody to walk into the office and point to you and say, hey, you're promoted. Sometimes they're looking for, if they want to start that business, they're looking for a phone call that just, hey, I hear you're in the market to start a business. I just want to throw some money at you. Those are the signs that people are looking for. And because they're looking for those signs and they haven't seen them, they stay stuck and stagnant. But the first sign is being uncomfortable. When you go to the gym and you working out, right? You can go to the gym and just do some little light stuff, do a little whatever, right? And then you leave, and that next day it feels like you ain't did nothing. Or you can go to that gym, make yourself uncomfortable, right? Because you're pumping iron, right? And you're sore and you're like, man, I can't do another rep. Let me just go ahead. And then that next day, you wake up in the morning and sore. Now you know that you've done something, right? Your body is feeling uncomfortable because it's growing. So now the next time you go into that gym, you're like, okay, I know what I gotta do now because I like that feeling, because that feeling is letting me know that I'm doing something. Same as life. I went through a phase in my life to where I just didn't feel comfortable. But I too myself figured that if God was trying to tell me something, he was going to come down out the sky and split the, whatever the case may be. That's what I was looking for. But every day I was waking up uncomfortable. Every day I was in certain situations that I wasn't comfortable. I just chose to not even think, hey, maybe God's trying to get my attention. So you know what I did? One day I was just like, man, I'm just feeling uncomfortable, whatever, and just didn't feel right. And I started making little small moves. And every time I make a little small move, I would feel a little bit more comfortable, feel a little bit more comfortable. Next thing you know, I look up, I might not have half the friends that I had before. But it was time for me to grow. So I'm saying this to tell somebody out there right now, you're waiting on this business. You're waiting on this new position, right? And you're thinking something is just supposed to fall out the sky. No. If you're uncomfortable in your current circumstances, that is God tapping you on the shoulder. Now, the problem is we speak about faith all the time. Oh, I got faith the size of a mustard seed, this, that, and other. But many of us don't, because faith is not a feeling. You have to know that you know. You got to know that things are going to work out, but they're not going to work out if you don't do the work. Sometimes you got to really sit down and look in that mirror That's why a lot of people can't just sit still. A lot of people always got to be doing something, right? Because they can't sit still in their thoughts because they're not comfortable with themselves. And I'm only saying this because I once was one of those people. I had to always be doing something, right? Because I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't comfortable, so I had to be doing something because my mind had to be occupied. So, if you are in a situation, if you walking into that job and you're feeling a little uncomfortable, you're feeling like, oh, I just don't feel like being here, I'm not telling you to go quit. That would be foolish. But what I am telling you is you need to start searching within. What is God trying to tell me? Maybe that one job that keeps popping up on your Indeed in the back of your mind, you like, man, I should apply for that. But then you look and it's like, oh, you should have this, that, and the other, right? And you like, well, I really don't have that right now. But I'm a fast learner. But you know what? There's no way they're gonna hire me. See, that's where you lack faith. I'm a firm believer that God can put your name into rooms that you ain't even walked into yet. But you got to do the first part. And the first part is have faith. That's the first part, is to have faith. And faith is not a feeling.